Hey students! So today I'm going to teach you how to use some really useful linking expressions in English so you can sound more advanced and more sophisticated. Stay until the end because I'm also going to talk about one of the most common mistakes that my students make with one particular word. Maybe you could be making this mistake as well. So, are you ready? Let's get into it. Okay guys, so there are 4 categories of linkers that I'm going to talk about in this class. And I encourage you to use these linkers as much as possible, especially if you're doing an English exam, in your writing as well as in your speaking. The first category is linkers for addition. So, what have we got? When you want to add an additional point when you're speaking or writing, what linkers can we use? Well, I used one earlier. Did you hear it? And I encourage you to use these linkers in your writing as well as in your speaking. In your writing as well as in your speaking. As well as. So this is super common and easy to use, and you should start using it from today. You could say, for example, I've travelled to many countries in Europe as well as South America. Or, that restaurant serves Japanese food as well as tapas. Okay, next we have besides. For example, I have no family besides my parents. Or, I didn't have lunch because I wasn't hungry. Besides, there was nothing in the fridge. Okay, next we have furthermore. This is a nice one to use in your essays, and it's usually at the beginning of a sentence with a comma, and it's quite formal. So, for example, cycling to work is quicker than driving. Furthermore, it's a lot cheaper and is better exercise. Now, you could also put this in the middle of a sentence. So you could say, I hope you will subscribe to this channel, and furthermore, I hope you'll visit amigosingleses.com, the best blog for learning English. It's true. Okay, moving on to the next category. We have linkers for giving reason. Due to, repeat, the pronunciation is due to. Then we also have owing to and since. Yes, since can also mean because. So let me give you some examples. The flight was cancelled due to terrible weather conditions. The concert was cancelled owing to lack of interest. Or I didn't go to the party since I wasn't invited. Okay, what about this one? In case. Do you know how to use it? In case. So this one is like saying because there's a possibility that. Okay? For example, wear a seatbelt in case you crash. Or for example, take these glasses in case you fall asleep in your class.
And that, students, is chemistry.
Okay, moving on. Now we have condition. I'm sure you're familiar with the word if. What else can we use to sound like a master of English? Well, we have as long as. For example, you can stay at my house tonight as long as you're gone before I wake up. Or we can watch a film together as long as I can choose the film. No, I'm serious. I'm choosing the film. And what else do we have? One beginning with P. What is it? PR? PRO? Yes? Provided. Yes, that's it. Provided. Well done, well done. Provided is another word for if. It's a bit more advanced, a bit more formal, and sounds really good. So, for example, you could say, you will get a pay rise provided you meet your targets. And what about this word, unless? Could you put it in a sentence? Could you? So this word is the same as saying if you don't. It's the negative form of if. So if we use the same example as before, we could say you will not get a pay rise if you don't meet your targets. Or you will not get a pay rise unless you meet your targets. And one for parents, you will not be having dessert unless you eat your broccoli. It's actually quite nice. Excuse me, I'll be back in a moment. Let's continue. Okay, and to finish off, we have linkers for contrasting two different ideas. So, the first one, to kick off, is a tricky one to pronounce. It is although. Although. Repeat it with me. Come on, let's spend some time. Let's pronounce it correctly. Although. Look at my tongue. Although. No, not although. Though. Broccoli. Repeat it with me. Although. Although. Okay? So, repeat after me. Although it was sunny, it was very cold. Another example. I'll be there, although I might be slightly late. Repeat. Keep practicing. Now, notice although can go at the beginning of a sentence or in the middle, okay? But not at the end. You could also use even though or just though. And though can also go at the end of a sentence. So for example, I don't speak French. I speak Spanish though. I speak Spanish though. Though. Okay, and next we have despite. For example, despite the heavy rain, we enjoyed our picnic. Or, we went to class despite being hungover. At the beginning of this video, I mentioned a very typical mistake. So, let's have a look and see if you can correct it for me. She passed the exam despite she hadn't studied. Now, if you're one of our super motivated students who has signed up to our amazing speaking course, Roll Your English, then I'm sure you can find the mistake easily here. What's the correct answer? Well, you should say she passed the exam despite the fact that she hadn't studied. And why? Why do I have to put the fact that? Well, after despite, or also in spite of, you can put a noun, a verb with ing, or if you want to put a clause, then you need to add the fact that. So, using a noun, she passed the exam despite a severe lack of preparation. She passed the exam despite being a lazy student. She passed the exam despite the fact that she hadn't studied. She must be very clever. Must be the broccoli. Okay students, that concludes today's class. Well done, well done. You got through it. How did you find it? Was it difficult? Let me know in the comments below. Also, feel free to ask your questions. I'll be happy to respond. Don't forget to check out the blog post that comes with this video where you'll find a few little exercises to put you to the test. That's very important. Okay? It's been a pleasure and I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.